Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Power Platform. This is Belinda Allen, and I am here with my dear friends and co-hosts, Mr. Mariano Gomez.
Hey, Belinda, how you doing?
Good, Mariano. And Mr. Steve Endow.
Hello.
And we're doing this one a little bit different. A couple reasons. One, we're in the fabulous Fargo, and we have our dear friend with us, Mr. Bob McAdams.
Hey.
He is the GM of the GPUG user group meeting, and we're literally in the same room. So why we're all using our individual cameras, I don't know. I guess we're control freaks and we want to have our PCs.
That's pretty much
That's pretty natural, yeah.
So we are here attending, or we just wrapped up the GP Technical Conference here in Fargo. And Bob was the one who organized this. I don't know why I was looking at my little picture. I should be looking at my camera. Sorry, everybody. But Bob was the one who organized this, and much to our delight, the delight of the three of us, there was a lot of Power Platform content. I had 3 sessions, and all 3 were Power Platform. One BI, one full Power Platform, and one Flow.
Right.
So I was super excited. And Mariano, you had...
Yeah, I had a full Power Platform session as well, presented on Power Apps and Flow. I also had... developers roundtable where there was a request to present more Power Platform. So the interest is there. Absolutely.
Cool. And Steve?
I presented mostly on GP topics this time, replacing replacing VBA and Dynamics GP with Visual Studio Tools and the developer roundtable, and also one more.
Git.
Oh yes,
GitHub.
yes.
Git, yeah.
Should you use Git for source code control? So,
And he
convinced you.
convinced me one way or the other. I won't say which way.
Good answer.
But he did settle some things up in my head. But Bob, we wanted to ask you a question. The question we wanted to ask you was, and it's a good thing, but what made you add so much Power Platform content?
Okay, well, I don't know so much, and I'll take credit for that. What I'll say is we had 5 planning committee members, Wendy, Sean, Tanya, Carrie, and Mary Lynn Peterson at Columbus. And we started taking calls in February around content for this event. And, I get them on the phone and I say, okay, what do you and your peers want to learn around Dynamics GP at the next tech conference, right? And a lot of people come up with the usual items, right? We are going to see certain topics each time at a GP Tech conference, but a lot more interest in Power Platform, how it integrates with Power BI, how can I use Power Apps and Flow with my customers and make their solutions, their environments run better and be more efficient. So they all want to stay on top of things with Dynamics GP and the new release that's coming out in October, but at the same time, they're looking at other ways to add value for their customers, and going to the Power Platform is an easy way to do that for them.
Cool. And what kind of feedback did you hear from people?
Generally speaking, they were loving it. They loved your hands-on making it flow. This year at GP Tech, we did 4 or 5 hands-on sessions where the instructors were asked to, do demos and have the people that you're working with, or in the session rather, do work along with you. And Belinda did how to make a flow, and you had a pretty full house, I'd say.
I did.
And people were there, hands-on with Microsoft Flow, learning how easy it is, and then trying to think of ways they can utilize it with their customers. Mariano had a session this morning, 9 o'clock sharp, talking about on-premises data with Power Platform, and we had to throw him out of there because he was going over time, and then because nobody was moving, and I had another speaker coming in. So in the developer roundtable, just wrapped up a couple of minutes ago, you got an opportunity to finish what you started because
correct.
The people in the room said, can you just finish up what you didn't have a time for? So the demand for Power Apps Flow, Power BI integration in this room is at this show is really high. People want to integrate that for their customers and start adding value in different ways.
So let me get this right. You are also coming from Summit, Australia. You and Steve actually are coming from Summit, Australia. So what was your feedback there? Because I also saw a lot of Power Platform presentations.
Yep, yep. A lot of interest in Power Platform in Australia as well. We did our very first GPUG event down under. It was really quite fabulous. Had some great speakers like
Fabulous
Steve.
down under.
It was. It really was. Everything David Musgrave and Martin Olson have ever said about Australia is true. It's really a fabulous place.
Yeah.
But the demand for Power Platform material, you know, those guys have the same needs as end users in Australia as the partners here. They just want to get more ingrained in these areas and figure out how they can leverage these tools in their business.
Can I ask you a question about
Sure.
Australia?
Certainly.
Does the toilet really flush in the other direction?
It kind of comes over the top, you know, like South Africa.
How about you, Steve? What was your impression from Summit Australia?
It was great. It was a great trip. It's a fantastic country.
It is,
Melbourne
yeah.
was absolutely, it's a gorgeous, modern, metropolitan, really trendy city, fantastic coffee.
Yeah, it's Melbourne, right? That's where the
Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah, just the nicest people you could possibly imagine.
Mhm.
Fantastic, great people. The conference facility was great. Lots of presentations. We met the GP customers, and there were a couple partners and ISVs there. It was a fantastic conference, very well run.
Steve, did you present on any Power Platform topics?
I did.
Yes.
I'm glad you asked.
Yay.
So I gave a presentation called Increase the Value of Dynamics GP with Microsoft Flow and Azure Functions. And being the technical person that I am, I did show some basic flows of how you can get to your GP data using the on-prem SQL data connector and pull that into Flow. And I also went a little further and showed how you can create a public web service for Dynamics GP in minutes using Flow. So whether you want to expose your GP data to, say, an e-commerce website that you host, or to receive data such as maybe a 3PL warehouse you work with and get shipment data into GP, you can do that literally in minutes with a few mouse clicks with Flow. Pretty phenomenal. And the attendees there, especially the technical people, were amazed to see that because they knew how many hours of work it would take to replicate that in code. And with Flow, it was a zero code solution in minutes.
So I have a question for you. So
Yep.
you're saying with that, we have a tendency to want to look at each other because
Yes.
we're right
Yeah.
across the table.
Right.
So you're saying with that, you would be able to like connect to your e-commerce site and provide your inventory quantity so that you could know, oh, we're out, or we only have 2 left. But could you also receive the orders as well and have them flow
Absolutely.
into SOP?
Yep, you can selectively expose just the data you want from Dynamics GP as a JSON HTTP web service that your website only consumes, and you can also receive data back into GP or staging tables, whatever you want. It basically handles that really technical, difficult part of exposing a web service, transferring data, and receiving data that would normally require a developer some type of platform to expose that. And what was great is using the on-prem SQL Data Gateway, you don't have to open up any firewall parts. You don't have to spool up a web server. There's no VMs. There's no infrastructure. It's a serverless, zero footprint solution for your organization.
You know, it should be noted here, I looked on the schedule from this week. Our good friend Sean Dorward, who's now the new practice manager at Dynamic Consulting, did a hands-on session as well, creating a Power BI dashboard. And again, everybody was in there building a Power BI dashboard. He had a full house. And again, you've got a lot of people in the space, not just you three, who are getting into this and enhancing, you know, their customers' businesses by showing them what's out there and what's capable on Power Platform.
You know, one of the things that is amazing to me is the fact that we all think in terms of cloud because we're using these technologies all the time. But
right.
the amount of opportunities that exist with on-premise data is basically mind-blowing at this point.
Right.
And we just ended with a session by Carrie, or next to last session by Carrie, talking about common data service. And this, for many of us, is somewhat obscure aspect of the Microsoft Cloud Platform. And so with CDS, he was demonstrating or explaining that you could take your Dynamics GP data, push it into the CDS platform so that it is more accessible and faster to get to from something like Power BI. So if you're looking to really analyze your GP data using Power BI, you can use the CDS platform, all part of the Azure and Power Platform.
And I suppose you could do any on-prem ERP system
Any
and
on-prem,
push it
any
into the
on-prem
CDS
data.
cloud.
Any
So-
data, period.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Mariano, but then once it's in there, then when you're building, you could build some business rules and use those business rules that you create there inside your Power Apps.
That's correct. You could definitely build some business rules on CDS and expose those. Those rules will be consumed by your Power Apps application. So it streamlines your and really streamlines the whole concept of being a citizen developer.
Right, which means you get integration to your system with business rules, so you don't have someone putting in a date as the word Monday.
Correct.
So you've got some nice business rules
Yeah.
that you can follow, along with other more advanced business rules. But that's just one example.
And then we're all looking at each other again.
Yeah, we got
So our audience is gonna think like, what are they looking at?
So
That's-
here, let's
get-
just show what we've got here.
There you go.
There we go. So we have Belinda and
Oh.
Bob and Mariano and myself. And we're just in the conference room here at the Microsoft headquarters
Interesting, very
in Fargo. So it's an
Yeah.
impromptu session.
Well, that just proves that we love this topic so much that once we get into talking about it, we're like, yeah,
Yes,
really?
right.
Right.
And right on the edge of our seats. So that is a very cool thing, that whole CDS thing. There's a lot to learn there, but it offers.
So Bob, do you see more and more of these sessions coming in the next tech conference? Or tell us about the summit in Orlando. I know you guys have an entire track dedicated to Power Platform.
That's right. So in Orlando next month, there's User Group Summit, all the UGs, all the Dynamics products. They'll have their summit, and then running parallel to that in Orlando is the Power Platform Summit. And people who come to Orlando, say for GPUG Summit, and want to look at Power BI or Power Platform or Power Apps rather, or Flow, can cross over to a different session. You guys are
That's
probably
new for
doing
this year, right?
well. We've been doing it before, but we're seeing more
But
of
it's
it.
more like
Yeah,
standardized now.
yeah, it
You
is.
made it more
Everything's
public.
we're all fully integrated, so
Okay,
you can go
awesome.
wherever you want.
And it's for a GP user group, Dynamics BC user group,
Yeah,
Dynamics NAV user group, Dynamics AX user group, Dynamics
F&O,
365 F&O, Dynamics
CE.
365
Customer engagement.
customer
CE.
engagement. Yep,
and CRM. Some of those
Yeah.
are just on-prem
right. It's an
and
alphabet soup.
and
It really
yeah.
is.
So, and some of those products are actually duplicates, but it depends whether it's
What
on-prem or
version?
in the cloud,
right,
right?
because we support them all.
And then the whole Power Platform. So there's actually a Power BI area, a Power Apps, and Flow.
Right,
And if you use any of those products, you can go to any of the sessions. If you're even just curious about buying one of those products, you
yeah.
could come to the Power Summit
right.
and then
And this
wander
is
over
the
to
first year
another.
I'm crossing over
Yeah.
because I'm doing
So Power Apps for
Power Apps.
those,
Yeah, Power Apps and Flow.
Last year was in Phoenix,
Sessions, yeah,
and
right.
the Power Summit and the GPUG Summit was across the street,
Right.
and I ran back and
Yes.
forth
Yeah.
between every
I know,
session.
you were pretty busy that week. I'm sure next month. But yeah, we'll have a plethora of things for people to go see.
And even
all
if
in
you're
Orlando.
familiar with some of these products, they are changing so rapidly
You're right, yeah.
that attending the sessions on Power Apps or Flow or Power BI will likely have some great benefits because the new features are rolling out faster than even we can consume them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. This
And
is
all
true.
three of you will be quite busy, so
Yes.
thanks in advance. You were
Thank you.
busy this week. You'll be busy next month.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have it any other way.
We
No.
will not have it any
See?
other way.
No.
Okay.
Great.
It
Good to
is
know.
great fun to present. Thank you for
Well,
allowing
thank you.
us
Thanks
You
for
to
know,
speaking with us.
present.
it's my
And
pleasure.
it's also an incredible learning experience for me.
Yeah,
If I'm going to make it look easy when I'm presenting,
Right.
it's a learning
But you
experience.
do make it look easy, Belinda.
That's
That's
because
true.
I work hard
I know.
to
I
make
know.
it look easy.
Yeah. This is the interesting world of presenters, right?
True.
Yeah.
We take complex technology and we try to make it easy.
Right.
when
I
we
felt like I
present
was
it.
living on the edge doing on-hand flow class in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Right.
ah.
I know.
From
but
sign up to creating the flow to
True,
running
yeah, to
it.
sign up
Yes.
for a trial.
Signing
yeah.
up for accounts.
So it was one of the things that I showed, thanks to my dear friend Mariano, and he showed it to us in the Power Platform share. I think the first one we did was the flick button. So the class built 3 flows themselves, and then I had a demo of 2 that will use the on-premise gateway. That's why I didn't let them do that. But one I did a SQL backup. Mariano showed us that. And then I had a flow button. I was actually wearing it as a clip through the whole presentation.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
And then I asked everyone if they've heard of Internet of Things, and then I told them I was wearing one. They all thought I meant my Apple Watch. And
Interesting.
yep, it turned out not to be my Apple Watch. I pulled off the click. I let somebody else click it. And then all of my SQL databases
backups, right? Yeah.
occurred at the same time on the screen. And so Mariano introduced me to the flick button too. So that is, and I love that concept of doing the backup with the flick button, because I really believe, someone tweeted what I had said about it. When customers say, who's responsible for backups? My answer, anyone who doesn't want to rekey their work.
Right.
And so if you put a backup like that on a flick button, you could literally, it's sticky on the back if you want, you could stick it to the controller's desk. And if people want to back up the database, they can just come in and press the button.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it's backed up. And I even suggest maybe having one more step on Flow that takes the backup and copies it to some
Azure.
Well, not necessarily Azure. I'm saying someplace different, like Dropbox, so that you have it in multiple locations and under multiple services as a way to reduce your vulnerability to someone coming in and attacking you and corrupting your backups.
Well, let's chat about that, because it's just as simple to back up SQL directly to Azure storage. So you could have a specific flow just for that kicks it off both local and Azure storage. And so I have a blog post on that. It takes less than 10 minutes to set up.
Very cool. So, very cool. And honestly, I almost didn't set up the flick button. While I was here, Mariana said, woman, set it up. So I set it up. And
you said it just like that.
Just like that.
And
sounded just like me.
And it took me longer to remember to get into my password for Flick than it took me to set it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And I cheated. I got the script off of, I don't know, maybe Stackflow. I don't know. Got it from somewhere.
Overflow.
Yeah, Stack Overflow, and then just added, the creative procedure wizard around it.
Yep.
And so that worked out pretty well. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And so I gave my Flick button away. And
was that like a giveaway prize?
yeah, Kieran, I gave it to Kieran. He was really good. He attended all my sessions. He asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And he was so excited he got the Flick button.
He probably was.
And so as he was so excited, before I knew it, he had taken it off the clip. He's like, what did I do? And it's okay. Doesn't have to be on the clip. I don't normally keep them on the clip, but I wanted to be wearing it during the presentation. And now I just gave something away that I probably could have used at Summit.
True.
Well,
get another one.
My Flick button 2 is coming out.
I have 3 more. Okay. I'm trying to give away my old Flick so I can get the new Flick. Then I can say, oh, I need a new one. I have given all my Flicks away.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for all your hard work this week. It should be noted that only 16 speakers participated in GP Tech Conference, carrying all 2.5 days. So the crowd was really good. If you missed out, you missed out. But we will work hard to make sure we have more of the same next year, and plenty of Power Platform integrated, that's for sure. So thanks one and all. All right.
Yeah, well,
thank you
for stopping by, Bob, and see you in Orlando for sure.
3 more weeks, man.
Yeah.
I'm almost ready.
Almost.
Get some rest.
Our sessions are not done yet either.
Yeah, that's okay. Just make sure you get them uploaded.
Our slide deck will be copy paste.
That's right, from this to that.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that was a fun conversation with Bob, guys. So, and it's been a fun week. It's been a fun week. We're going to wrap it up tonight. I think Steve's going back to California tonight.
Yes, I am.
Safe
sorry
travels.
to see you go.
Thank you.
Mariano and I will be going to the traditional end of Fargo journey.
Actually, I am skipping that one tonight.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, you
I
have a
team
dinner.
Yeah, I have a team dinner tonight, so I am just
We normally
committed
go
to my
eat
team.
Indian
Yeah.
food. Oddly enough, Fargo, North Dakota has a fabulous Indian
Yeah.
restaurant.
Fabulous Fargo.
And- yeah, fabulous Fargo.
There
So
you
we'll
go.
be doing that. And it's been, well, we've had a little bit of raining weather, but we've had some beautiful weather.
Yes.
For Mariano and I coming from the southeast,
Yep.
it's been a dream because we came from oppressive heat to this
To
beautiful,
this beautiful
early fall
60
weather.
degree
Yeah.
early fall weather.
Yeah. And probably about the same for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it was in the 80s and 90s in LA. So
Yeah.
this is gorgeous. It's nice and cool and breezy. It's beautiful.
Yep, a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody. Our next Power Platform Share will be back to sharing each other what we've been working on, as we always look forward to that. So we hope you do too. Everyone have a great one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.